Thank you everyone for joining us. This is a recorded webinar. It's going to be a somewhat smaller group, so partway through we'll unmute everybody so you guys can be a little bit more interactive on this webinar. You just never know how many people will actually attend versus those that show up. So see a couple of familiar names out there, so definitely want to give you guys opportunity to ask some questions throughout. So today's webinar, if you read up on it, we're doing next generation network monitoring, and our speaker here is Dimitri, who's going to walk us through the product demonstration, which is Nectus, and it's a product that we find is very beneficial. It's far more customizable, far more in depth than a lot of the other tools that we see out in the marketplace. We've been working with Dimitri and his team for several months now, and have seen it successfully implemented in a few of our customers' environments and have seen some huge benefits. So we definitely wanted to get some sort of recording and webinar and opportunity out there for you guys to witness and see this product line up and live and personal. Dimitri and the Nectus team do offer trials as well, so demonstrations for one-on-ones. So hopefully out of this discussion, you see what the tool set can do, and we can talk further about what it could do in your environment. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dimitri and go through our demonstration. Thank you, Dimitri.
Hey guys, can you hear me okay, right? Audio level fine?
Audio level is perfect.
Okay, excellent. So feel free to ask any questions. So we want it to be interactive as much as possible. So don't wait until the end. Shoot your questions straight. So Nectus essentially is IT infrastructure monitoring tool that covers pretty much all the RSI layers from layer 1 to layer 7. So we monitor circuits, from circuits to servers, routers, switches, firewalls, applications, custom monitoring. So we try to cover all the IT monitoring requirements. And then Nectus has 15 different modules. We have NetFlow, syslog, basic network monitoring and discovery, configuration backups, wireless monitoring module. We cover server monitoring for Windows and for Linux. We do have cloud monitoring modules for AWS and Azure. We have BGP VPN tunnels, monitoring functionality, VMware monitoring module that covers all your VMware infrastructure, vCenters, ESX host, VMs. We have SQL Server monitoring module that covers Microsoft SQL databases and Oracle. And we have IPAM, and we have for layer 1 we have Circuit DB. It's a database to keep track and monitor all of your telco circuits. So all of those 15 modules are integrated into a single GUI, and you can display information from all the modules into single looking glass, single dashboard. And at the same time, you can customize it based on your specific requirements, based on your team. So server team can have their own dashboard, network team can have their own dashboard. So fully customizable per user, and at the same time integrated into a single dashboard. The core module is network discovery and monitoring. So everything evolves around it. So network discovery works basically by scanning your network, finding all of your network devices, classifying them by manufacturer, by major platform, by specific model, and you can see the information, the results of the discovery visible under SNMP devices tree on the left side, where in this example we classified about 1,000 devices. So we have a dedicated team of engineers who do nothing else but device classification and making sure that our monitoring works on every possible vendor. And we support about 1,200 different vendors and about 24,000 different specific products. So on the left side, once discovery is complete, you will see all of your devices grouped by manufacturer, by specific major platform category, by specific model, and you will see all your devices under a model group. So we rely heavily on context menus. We want this tool to give you the same experience as your regular desktop application. So the context context menus are everywhere. You can right-click on any device and have access to all the possible reports. Just by right-clicking on the device, you can get CPU, memory, latency, availability information, NetFlow data. You can ping the device. You can do SNMP walks. You can pull the routing table. You can start building a topology by right-clicking a device. For Cisco devices, we partner with Cisco, and we have access to Cisco SmartNet database, where you can pull your SmartNet coverage status for any Cisco device just by right-clicking on it and selecting specific SmartNet report. You can get SmartNet coverage, you can get end of sale, end of support information, get list of bugs that specific device based on the version of code it's running. So, well, full integration with a Cisco API and Cisco SmartNet reports. Any questions so far? Excellent.
I'm going to unmute everyone at that time, and I'll leave you guys unmuted as well. So if you got any kids or dogs in the background, just keep that in mind.
So, and in addition to showing all the devices classified by type, we overlay real-time up-down status information. So you can see what kind of devices are up and what kind of are down. So the context menus on device level, where you can click on the device and get access to context. There's a context menu on the platform level, so you can build reports for all the devices of the specific platform. For example, you can trigger configuration backup, or you can build network topology that contains only specific models of the devices. And there are context menus on manufacturer level. So you can trigger configuration backup for all of your Cisco devices, or you build latency or up-down status graphs for the whole category. So those are a tree that groups devices by type. So in addition to grouping devices by type, we support grouping devices by site, where you can create sites based on your geographical layout. You can build sites per building, per country, state, city, floor, you name it. And you can have unlimited number of levels within your site structure. So you can have your top level represent, let's say, a theater, EMEA, North America, APAC. Within the EMEA, you can have multiple data centers, and you open data center, you can have racks or VRFs or customer, so you have full control how to build your site structure. And for your sites, in the properties, when you create your sites, you can specify address which allows us to pull the GPS information and place all of your sites on a Google map. This is an example where we have some sites on a Google map. So you can build a visual representation of your backbone by providing an address in the site configuration. So in addition to address, you can specify site-specific hostname strings. So if you're using a hostname convention that is using site prefixes, suffixes, or specific keywords that's site-specific, it allows us to automatically place devices in their corresponding sites based on those keywords. So that takes all the manual efforts of making sure that your devices are always in the proper sites, and we'll do that automatically for you. So Nectus is a fully distributed architecture, so we can have multiple polling agents located at different geographical areas, and you can associate those polling agents with specific sites. Again, if you look in the sites, you go to properties, and you can specify specific polling agents from the list of the polling agents available and configure it in the database. And so again, at the same, we overlay up-down status information the same way we do for device types. We overlay that information on device sites. So not only you see what type of devices are down, you see where they are located. As part of the discovery, when discovery is finished, we learn interconnection information. So we use CDP and LLDP protocols to pull the interconnection information via SNMP protocol, and we store interconnections in the database. So all the interconnections goes in inventory L2 interconnections, and you have different categories, and most important, SNMP to SNMP. Essentially, that's a list of the connections that we discover. So by having a list of the connections discovered, it allows us to build a network topologies, one of the coolest features that we have. You can there are multiple ways you can start building a topology. One of the easiest one is you can just right-click on any site and say create L2 topology of this site. Then on next page, the Nexus will tell you which devices will be placed on that topology, so you can maybe uncheck something that you're not interested in seeing. For example, I don't want to see Polycom, and I don't want to see Fortinet. And then you press generate topology. So we're going to read the interconnection table for those devices, and that's exactly how much time it takes to generate any topology in Nexus. Basically, it's seconds. Topology is live, so you will see if device is down, it starts blinking red, as in this example. So not only devices, if interface goes down, it starts blinking red. So topology is fully interactive. You can right-click or you can click on any object on a topology, and you will have access to a context menu where you can, for example, expand topology further from this device or get your NetFlow, CPU memory, link utilization information. So all the metrics that we collect as part of the monitoring module are available by just right-clicking on the device or interface. You can open multiple topologies. I'm just going to for the topologies, there are lots of information that you can overlay on it. You can maximize, you can move devices, you can change icons, you can resize icons. You can choose what information we display for devices and for interfaces. For example, you may choose to hide IP addresses and hide host names. And for interfaces, you may choose to display IP addresses or hide IP addresses, interface names, descriptions. We can even overlay real-time traffic information on the interface, on the links, to show you how much you receive and transmit on each side of the connection between two devices. You can zoom the text in and out, make it easier to read. You can change icon sizes. You can save the topology to Visio. You can export it to PDF, PNG, SVG, any format we support. You can right-click on any link. So again, you can click on a device, get access to context menu. You can right-click on any link, and you can see graphs, interface utilization, availability, errors, drop packet, traffic volume. You can show that link information. So you can see this interface connected to this interface or those two devices. Again, you can context menus everywhere. Right-click on interface, right-click on a device. Get the latency graphs. Change time ranges for the graphs. So really easy to access all the graphs just by right-clicking with our context menus. Any questions so far? Excellent.
I think it's going good so far.
Okay.
Thanks, Dimitri.
Okay, so that's one of the ways to build a topology, just by right-clicking on the site. There are 16 other ways to build a topology. You can start with a blank and just drag and drop devices that you want to have on a topology. And if there is a link in a database, they will be automatically connected. Let me see. There we go. You can just keep dragging it. And they will just automatically connect. When you get tired of drag and dropping devices, you can just say, let me just take this device as a starting point and expand my topology from this device, and you can specify a number of hops. Let's say I want to do 2 hops. Then we're going to uncheck some devices that we're not interested in seeing. And so we specify 2 hops. And we automatically build the topology. So when you do hop by hop expansion, you might want to move the devices around after it complete, so you can get better visual on your layout. So that's another way to build a topology. So you drag and drop a device of the interest and then select expand, specify a number of hops, and therefore if you specify 7 hops, that should build the whole topology of the internet. And of course, the server is going to probably die after that. So very easy to build the topologies. Save it to Visio by going to the topology settings, save button, save to Visio, SVG, PNG, PDF. You can save this topology to a server so everybody can access it, or you can access it later. You can share it with anybody by creating direct access URL. It's one of the unique features that we have. You save the topology on server, create one. It's like a one-time use URL, and you can email it to anybody, even if that recipient does not have an account in Nectus, and they will be able to open the topology in read-only mode. So those are topologies.
Hey, Dimitri, just to add to that on the topology, I think you were able to pull in some of the, was it the NetFlow data that you're able to pull in at the different endpoints?
Yes.
Some additional things you could do with that. Maybe you went through it, but
you have to configure NetFlow to send the data to the Nectus. And if there is a NetFlow data in the database, you right-click on the device and you should be able to pull it via NetFlow data report. Yes, and we can take a look at the NetFlow module. So NetFlow collector, it's one of the modules that Nectus offer, and NetFlow is one of the modules that requires in production setups requires a separate VM that is used for storage, because NetFlow generates so much data, requires so much space in the storage in the database that we recommend offloading the storage to a separate VM, and we provide the OVA image for that VM. It's a Linux-based running highly specialized database that optimized for read-only data called the ClickHouse. And for NetFlow, with the ClickHouse, we can take up to 100,000 flows per second, which I think it's a record. I've never seen anybody can do 100,000 flows per second on a single server setup. So for NetFlow, we offer basic typical NetFlow reports, top applications, top protocols, top BGPs, as source destination pairs, top senders, top receivers, and top sender receiver pairs, called the top conversations. So for NetFlow, we have a geolocation database where we display the location for IP addresses. If you select, let's say, top source destination pairs, generate report will show you the location of the IP address. With the geolocation database, we do DNS lookups, show you the host names. You can click on each individual, select individual flows. You can select raw data where you actually see incoming, outgoing interface for each flow, source, destination ports. You see traffic volume for individual flows. So all the low-level NetFlow information. So again, top application, top protocols, and the coolest part, you can integrate NetFlow into a dashboard. So that's kind of standalone report, but let me show you the custom dashboard that we have. So we have some NetFlow widgets. This is one of the NetFlow widget. This is NetFlow widget. So you can integrate, you can see you can integrate your backbone, you can integrate NetFlow, network performance monitoring information, syslog information into a single dashboard. And you can choose what information is being displayed on in the widget. You can focus it on a specific segment of your network by configuring the widget widget settings, by specifying specific groups in the widget settings, time ranges, widget types, whether it's bar chart, pie chart. So you have full customization capability for your dashboards. And you can press on the save button with paperclip and it will remember you. And every time you log in, you get the same dashboard. So that's NetFlow module. We have syslog module where you can send us all of your syslog messages. And for syslog modules, very important features that we offer is syslog keyword alerts, where you can specify the keywords of interest, and we will be looking for those keywords in the background. And every time we detect the keywords in the syslog message, we'll send you an alert via email or text message. So we support email, we support three types of, actually 4 types of alerts. Basic emails, text messaging, SNMP traps, and integration with the third-party applications. So if you have like ServiceNow or any other remedy, any tool that you have, we will provide the integration module. And one of the most popular integration module that we offer is the ServiceNow. So we integrate with the ServiceNow CMDB, where we can automatically create objects in ServiceNow CMDB database. We can automatically create incidents on predefined conditions. Let's say interface or device goes down, we create an incident. Device goes up, and interface goes up. We'll automatically close that incident for you. So we'll take care of completely of incident creation and remediation process. And again, you can integrate your NetFlow, sorry, not NetFlow, the syslog information into dashboard by selecting syslog specific widgets. For example, this one that shows all the messages in the last 1 hour that is grouped by syslog severity. Configuration backups. One of the most important modules is config backups. We support, we're totally vendor agnostic. We can back up any vendor as long as we are able to SSH to that device. You have full control what information will be collected as part of the configuration backup. You can write configuration backup scripts. We will SSH to any device, execute that script, and store it in the database, where you can access all the historical records for database backups, and you can see the configuration that was backed up. You can compare two configs, and side by side we'll do the diff, and we'll tell you where the difference between two configs are. So full configuration backup with ability to track any changes in configurations. Wireless module, that's another important module where we give you a 10,000 feet view on your wireless infrastructure. We show you all your access points, all of your SSID, your wireless controllers. We show you the busiest access points based on number of users, your busiest SSIDs based on number of users, overall historical number of users per each access point per controller, so you can plan your capacity planning based on that information. So we display each band separately, 2.4 gig, 5 gig, number of users, total users, which access points are down, how many access points are down, which controllers are down. So full wireless infrastructure visibility with the wireless module. And we can do heat maps where you can upload your floor plans on the background, and we place access point. I will show you how far the signal will propagate in the floor plan based on dimensions. That is a wireless module. IPAM. So another core modules is IPAM, give you ability to manage your IP address space. In IPAM, you can create multiple containers similar to the site structure. So you group your subnet based on your maybe data center logical layout, or you can mirror your site structure. So you can basically any way you want them the group your subnets. Typically, I see a theater data center VRF model. So you have 3 layers: data center, theater, then you have multiple data centers. Within data centers, you have multiple VRF. Sometimes you can have customers, and you can place each subnet in the corresponding container. So you will see on the background, we will monitor number of available IP addresses in each of the subnet and provide you as a tree view, or you can see all the subnets as a table view, where you can filter it by specific mask length, by container, by status, whether it's available or in use or reserved for future use, based on VRF, so we're fully VRF aware, or based on the customer information that we define for a specific subnet. You can click on any subnet, you will see a map, list of IP addresses that's available for reservation, which are live. So in this case, we don't have any IP addresses. Let's respond to a ping. You can click on any IP address, right click and say add to reservation. We have full integration with Microsoft DNS and DHCP infrastructure. So when you make a reservation in IPAM, we can automatically create A records on DNS servers. We can create reservations on DHCP servers. And essentially, you can use Nectus to manage all of your Microsoft DHCP infrastructure. That is an IPAM module. Any questions so far? Excellent. Let's take
It's a quiet group today, Dimitri. I think
Okay,
everyone was blown away by all the features and functions this tool can do.
okay, no problem, no problem. Okay, IP monitor. Let's take a look at the IP monitors. That's a part of the network monitoring module. So IP monitors is essentially any IP address that you want to monitor. It doesn't have to be part of your infrastructure. For example, you want to use Google DNS as a IP monitor, or will be pinging that IP address. Good indication if your internet is working. So if somebody says, "Oh, my internet is down," you go check with Google DNS or any other IP address. Right click on it, pull the graph, latency, availability, see was it down or was it up at specific time. So very handy at checking IP addresses that may be outside of your network, or maybe your BGP peering partner or your ISP next hop IP address, you name it. VPN tunnels, as part of the discovery, we find all of your VPN tunnels. You can assign names to them. You can view VPN tunnel information, phase 1, phase 2, your performance metrics. You can put all of your VPN tunnels on a dashboard as a widget, so you can see a real-time up-down status. The same approach we use for BGP sessions. If I can find any of them right here. Let me close BGP sessions. So that discovery of the BGP sessions happen as part of the regular scheduled network discovery. Again, you can assign names. You can put all your BGP sessions on a dashboard. You can right-click on any BGP session and view BGP session info. So you can see which remote AS number, the status of the BGP session, performance metrics, timers, traffic information. And we can always alert you if a BGP session goes down. So the companies with large BGP footprints, very often BGP session goes down and nobody cares about it because there are other ways to get there. And that BGP sessions may stay down for a month. I've seen that happen before. So very easy to keep track of those down BGP sessions. And again, all that information can be placed on a dashboard. So each of the dashboard has a settings button where you can pick which widgets you want to display on the dashboard. And we have widget categories for devices, interfaces, for all of the modules that we have. We have a widget category and with a list of available widgets. And you can just say, I want to show VPN status and the BGP status. And boom, now you have 2 additional widgets. It shows all your VPN tunnels and BGP sessions. Very easy. Can't miss this one. Very easy to understand, very easy to see. And you can just move your mouse over BGP session. We'll see what the company name or BGPS number associated with the session that is down. Very handy. And then you can maybe remove some of the widgets you don't care about. So they and press the save button, and every time you log in, you get the same dashboard again. Windows and Linux. We do have Windows monitoring, full Windows monitoring. We have about 50 different metrics that we can monitor for Windows servers. They are configurable via WMI interface, and you will see it in the profile. Basic CPU, memory utilization, reachability, server reboot events. You can monitor for event log keywords, network performance metrics, receive, transmit. We can monitor your Microsoft DHCP infrastructure. If your DHCP server has DHCP scopes that about to run out of IP addresses, we can send you an alert. You can define threshold when to send you that alert. Say I want a maximum threshold 90%. So if you scope, DHCP scope is at 90% full, we'll send you an alert. It's time to increase DHCP scope size. And okay, what else do we have? Disk metrics, use space. If your storage on a server is about to run out of free space, we can send you an alert. Read, write, transactions metrics. You can monitor for processes and services. If there are important service that you have running on the Windows box, we can alert you if that service is no longer running, or vice versa. If you want to make sure that none of the service are running specific service, we can alert you if that service is running. And the basic ICMP monitoring, latency and app down status. So those about 50 different metrics for Windows. And for Windows servers, you can right click on any server and we'll see again your favorite graphs, CPU utilization, historical data. You can go back as far as 3 years. So there are data retention settings you can configure, and we can store up to 3 years worth of data. You can click on a server, say view server information, and this view will show you all the information we have about this server. CPU, memory, storage, utilization, what software is installed, what hotfixes, Microsoft patches, what hardware is on that server, BIOS versions, motherboard serial numbers. You can see what IP address is assigned to different interfaces. Oh, that's in the network. List of network interfaces with IP addresses assigned to it. Very handy. And you can pull event log to see actual event log directly from Nexus. And again, we overlay up-down status information on the server tree. So if any of the servers goes down, you will see it as red. So all the modules kind of have a representation on the left side panel as a tree. And we overlay up-down status information for all the objects, servers, network equipment, VMs, cloud instances. So at any given moment, you will see what is up and what is down on your IT infrastructure. So the same approach as for Windows servers we take for Linux, with one exception. For Windows, we're using standard WMI interface. Microsoft is providing us a standard interface called WMI to pull all the metrics from the servers. In Linux, it's a bit different because Linux doesn't have a standard interface to pull the metrics. So for Linux, we're using our own agent, which you have to install on Linux server. And that agent will collect all the performance metrics and upload it to main server every 5 minutes. The same concept, right click on any Linux box, you will access to your network graph, latency graphs. Again, you can go back as far as 3 years. You can right click view server information. You'll see your basic information, storage, your volumes, utilization level, CPU, memory, interfaces with IP addresses, MAC addresses. So you can, and back to Windows servers, you can control, you can see which services and processes running on each of the servers, and you can start, stop any process and any server service directly on the server from Windows GUI. For example, this is a list of services running on this server. Okay, so database monitoring, we have a module that does nothing but monitoring databases. Well, this one is down currently. I'll just briefly talk about it. So we support Microsoft SQL Server and Oracle. We have about 50 different database specific metrics that dives deep into database health. And let me see if I can pull the database metrics. If I have them. And this one. Memory grants, buffer cache hit ratios, active transactions, SQL queries that takes the longest time. So all those are information that's specific to databases can be displayed on a dashboard. Application monitoring. So when we finish with the network, we move higher in OSI level to, where did it go? Web servers. So for application, we monitor HTTP and HTTPS URLs. So you can specify all of your URLs, all of your corporate sites. This page. HTTP URL monitoring. So you can specify all of your corporate sites. We will be checking all the URLs every 30 seconds and displaying you the health of your web servers, up, down status, latency, how much time it takes to open each of the URL. You can graph that timers to see how the latency changes throughout the day or throughout the week. We can show you when your SSL certificate is about to expire. That's probably one of the most useful feature of this module, because people don't have any way to track certificates. Sometimes it happens by surprise, and my certificate is no longer valid. And we can send you an alert when your certificate is about to expire. We can do that up to 30 days in advance. VMware monitoring module automatically pulls the health metrics of your VMs, load all of your ESX hosts, vCenter performance metrics, ESX performance metrics, and VM performance metrics. And we can take a look which metrics we support. VMware monitoring settings. For vCenter, basic latency up-down, status for ESX host. There are quite a few metrics, CPU memory, storage, complete visibility on storage health, transactions, read-write rates, and the store availability of this free space. Network, receive, transmit, basic ICMP health, and overall status of the ESX host. We can monitor data stores for a similar set of metrics, storage space, transactions, read-write, performance. And on the VM level, we monitor similar set of metrics, CPU, memory, disk, network, ICMP, and overall status. And all that information can be displayed on the dashboard again. We talked about configuration. CircuitDB, circuit database, allows you to keep track of all of your telco circuits. So if you have lots of circuits, very often you find that, oh, you've been paying for a circuit that you thought was decommed years ago. So you can add all of your circuits in a CircuitDB, where you can specify cage, cabinet, rack, patch panel information, media type, your fiber, your circuit IDs, contract information, when is the contract is about to expire. You can send you an email when the contract is about to expire, so you can renegotiate better pricing or decommission the circuit. So, and when you open your CircuitDB, you'll see real-time up-down status information on each side of the circuit. So very handy to keep track of your circuits. Any questions so far? Excellent. Okay, reports. So all of the information that we collect as part of the monitoring is accessible to you as part of the report functionality. There are hundreds of different reports. Let me open the dashboard. Best practice reports, one of the most important. I'll give you information about pressure points on your network, half-duplex ports, overlapping subnets, interfaces with identical IP addresses, MTU mismatches. So all the best practices that can be checked in these reports. Or time NTP not synchronized, or access lists defined on the router's firewalls but not being used. And for example, two devices connected but interfaces not on the same subnet. Again, Cisco SmartNet reports, that is available to us as a Cisco partner. PSORT reports based on your devices and the level of firmware they're running. End of sale, end of support for any Cisco device, suggested iOS releases, bugs, and the SmartNet coverage. Your operational reports gives you your information on the uptime. Let me see what else. Interface uptime, aggregated reports, heat map reports, which gives you information on repetitive patterns in the high utilization on your interfaces. Average site latency. We'll take a look at the latency across all the sites that you have, and we show the sites with the highest latency in average, long term, like throughout the month, and in the last 5 minutes. So if you see your last 5-minute latency is much higher than your average normal long-term latency, then you know there is something going on in that site, and it's a reason to troubleshoot. We have the whole category of the report that's called Top 100 reports. It's specific metrics across all of the devices in your network. For example, top 100 interfaces by peak utilization. So we take all the interfaces that we see right now, and we sort them by peak utilization in specific time range, like let's say last 1 hour, where you can select any interfaces and build the graph. And then that graph you can superimpose, or you can add together, combine information from all the graph into a single graph. For example, you want to see how much internet traffic your network ingress across all the internet circuits. So you can build a report that combines information from all the circuits into a single graph. So all the graphs that we build have a direct access URL feature. So that feature allows you to share this graph with anybody, even if person doesn't have access to Nexus. If they're not able to log, if they don't have an account in Nexus. Direct access URL is somewhat like one-time use URL. You can create the URL, copy it, email to anybody, and they will be able to see this graph, and only this graph, in a read-only mode. So those are top 100 reports, multiple metrics, and reports across all the devices, all the interfaces based on one specific metric. Any of the reports that you see can be scheduled and run automatically and delivered to you via email as a PDF or HTML or CSV file.
I think the reports feature, Dimitri, is really powerful. A lot of the tools you buy do a great job at doing a lot of the real-time reporting and information, but as far as getting to the historical, and then just having built-in reports that you don't need a special report writer or SRSS or SQL skills is very powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we get that feedback a lot, and very often you buy a tool and it becomes a full-time job, right? Yeah, I've seen the job position advertiser, like a SolarWinds operator or SolarWinds manager. It becomes a full-time job and you just do nothing else. And for Nexus, we've seen CEOs with zero training, just jumping in and able to get the information that they need, and it speaks a lot. How easy that tool is, how intuitive it is, and most important, performance-wise, it's lightning fast, very quick, and one server can support, say, up to 10,000 devices. Maybe we can talk about licensing. So each module can be purchased separately. So we have 15 modules, each module licensed separately. You can just buy network performance monitoring and nothing else, or you can buy server monitoring, nothing else. You can add modules later at any time. Each module is licensed by number of devices. So that's one of the key differentiators. Nexus compared to other competition. So we don't count interfaces at all. We don't count objects, monitoring objects. We only count devices. So if you have one switch with 1,000 ports, you only need one license for one device. So that presents a significant savings in the licensing cost. So the license price is perpetual. You pay it one time. If you buy the product, there is a version for leasing, so you can. So you have basically any available option to buy or lease, and price depends on number of devices. And
perfect.
Any questions?
Any questions for our group? We're in the final 5 minutes. I did have one question come through, and I think I know the answer, but better coming from you. Does the tool push any updates or make any configuration changes?
Yes, so we have a module called configuration management. So configuration backups functionality is a part of the modules, and configuration changes is a part of the module as well. And it's done via command scripts. So you go to command scripts, you press create a script. So you write your script that needs to be executed on a device. For example, you want to push config change, you want to change your password or update your ACL. So you build your script, give it a name, and then create a group of the devices that you want to push that script to. Then press run, select the device group, select the credentials that you want to use to run this script, and press run button. So then we will log into all the devices in that group and run that script for you. And we'll present you a log which shows how that script was executed, how many devices we processed, how many devices executed okay, how many devices failed. We'll send you an email with that report. So in addition, just running the script, you can define specific keywords that we need to be looking for as part of the execution of that script. And if those keywords are present in the output of the script, we can alert you, or we can run remediation script. For example, you want to check if when the specific license expires, right? You can write a script that will produce an output that contains expiration date. And then you can do a keyword search and against that expiration date, or you can search for keyword expired already, right? And if that keyword is present, we will generate an alert for you. So not only it's making configuration changes, you can use it for searching specific configuration or specific states of the device per se.
That's great. One last question that came in. How about endpoints? Is there anything built into it for monitoring or patching endpoints, specifically Windows or Mac devices?
No, not yet. So we're not covering the endpoints yet. We're only focusing on servers. But if there is a need, if customer, basically our rule is if what customer wants, customer gets. So if somebody needs that feature, and we see a value for the rest of the customers, we will jump on it right away, or we'll do it absolutely for free. So all the new feature requests totally free as long as we see a value for other customers.
Yeah, and I will say that's been one of the great things working with Dimitri and the team is as we've been sharing this product for several months now, has been new feature suggestions coming out of that, making the tool better for everybody. So
yeah, absolutely,
we definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, for us, customer is a king.
Yeah. Any last questions out there? Just waiting to see. All right. Well, Dimitri, I appreciate your time and going through the demonstration of your product. We really do appreciate it and appreciate the partnership. I'll post the recording afterwards, so if anyone wanted to share it with any of their colleagues or rewatch part of it, will be available online as well. And we just appreciate everyone jumping on. And again, Dimitri, thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Take care, everyone.